a, a contrary view on the growth. You should grow only to the extent you can manage. That is number one. Number two, uh, recruiting too many people at the beginning becomes a huge burden on the company. That's what he says. You look at this quoted text. We should have adopted the market. We could not. That was the key reason. There was a period in which we went from 150 people to 400 people very fast. This is the point I mentioned earlier, that number of people is a vanity metrics. This doesn't show anything. You have 600 people, 400 people, or 100 people, it hardly matters. This is good to talk about to your friends, not good for anything else. It's no good at all. So once you hire one more guy, it's a monthly burning, meaning suppose you are paying 1 lakh rupees as salary, every month you end up paying 1 lakh rupees and other perks, and perks are huge. Then you have other botheration, his accommodation, his whatnot responsibilities. You add another hierarchy. So everything together, you should hire only when it is absolutely necessary. When the business actually is crying for a person, only then you should hire another person of the kind, exactly of the kind that your business needs. Not just you come across a fancy guy and you feel that he's kind of very smart and is a wonderful guy, doesn't make a compelling reason to hire him or her. It should absolutely be based on the demand. So if any company is hiring on that basis, then the doomsday is round the corner. So what he says is that first 150 people were integrated in the culture of the company. They in fact built a culture. But then when you start recruiting more people, it becomes very difficult to adopt everybody to the same culture, same values, and then things go haywire. So look at the kind of business that they acquired. In 2016, they have 37 million monthly active users, 18 million daily active users, 18 million daily active users. It's a humongous data, humongous number of customers. And then even after that, they could not sustain. Obviously, the kind of burning they were making also was untenable. Their revenue was below 50 crore all the while. 16, 17, 18, 19, the revenue was nowhere even close to $50 million. Whereas their burning rate, the loss was to the extent of plus 400 crore rupees. In 18, it was plus 400 crore. And as the number of registered users started going up, their cost started going up. So if they would have recruited less number of people, the cost would have been much, much lower. So this is after 2019. This is what Kevin says. Emotionally, we have moved on. It's a part of building a new company. We have seen a lot of success. We have seen some big downfall. He added, after quoting a popular Silicon Valley adage that says, building a business is like waking up in the morning and eating broken glass every day. Of course, this is adopted from a comment that Elon Musk made. Elon Musk said that if you are starting a business, your pain threshold should be very high. It's very difficult time, and every now and then you are threatened to be doomed. But then next moment you may see some bright light. So we wake up to eat broken glass. That's what he said. And we look we look at the abyss all the while. Means we stare at the abyss, that we are going down and down and perhaps on the bottommost point. Here is what Elon Musk said. Elon Musk makes the point that even if your product is failing, you should stick with it if you believe that your idea has what it takes to be successful. If you believe that way. Of course, I have copied it just right now, just before the class I copied. So even I'm reading it very slowly. He provides a supplementary anecdote stating that Tesla almost failed. However, Elon Musk stuck with Tesla, and on the day Tesla was due to file bankruptcy. See, when Elon Musk was about to file bankruptcy, miraculously he got some funding on the same day so that he could pay off some of the debts. When companies file for bankruptcy is a time when they realize that we won't be able to repay our dues. So if we don't file for bankruptcy, people will come and acquire our company, meaning they will get a court decree to liquidate the company. They will auction our asset, etc. So we'll lose everything. So Elon Musk was about to file for bankruptcy. He says that the day I was about to file bankruptcy, I got some funding from somewhere, and then he could repay some of the debts. So he could obviate the prospect of prospect of liquidating the company. Now today, Tesla is one of the largest valuable companies. That's about the 2 points that I wanted to drive home. One is too much growth is not good. You should know how fast to grow. Second is while recruiting, you should be very careful. Never recruit when the business is not actually crying for some more people, particularly when you need some key skills and your team doesn't have. Nobody in your team possesses that skill. Only then you should try to supplement that skill by hiring another guy. Or at a time when you are growing very fast and you need to man different places for business process management, but define it clearly as to what kind of people you need and how many people you need. Just because there are 1000 applications and you find maybe 100 of them are very nice and you don't want to miss them, meaning you don't want to lose the chance of leaving them and then running after some more people. On that basis, you should not hire. You should hire only bare minimum that is necessary. Now, we casually refer to business model and business plan almost interchangeably. That is wrong. I mentioned that earlier also. Business model is the business that you would like to do. Like here, I have given an example. If you are planning to manufacture e-bikes, then manufacturing e-bikes and selling the e-bikes is your business. Is your business, and your business model is how you make a value proposition so that customers will buy your product rather than buying competitors' product. How you're going to reach out to the customer. All those things, how you do, is part of the business model. Whereas business plan is how you plan to do, meaning it's a written document where you mention that I'm planning to start this business and this is how I'm going to execute my business model. That is your plan of execution. Plan of execution of business model is business plan. That is written in some document. That may be in your head also, but it is normally written, or maybe in a PPT. It can be a Word document as well. So everything that you think of a business, as long as you are thinking of executing that, all that you do is you are actually framing up the business model. When you put that in writing on a piece of paper or maybe in PPT or something, that is what is business plan, how you want to execute and how the business will pan out moving forward, meaning how many customers in the first year, in the second year, what will be your sales, how you compete with your competitors, what is your unique selling proposition. Particularly business plans are made for a specific audience. If you are, someone is recording, thank you. Okay, so yeah, business plan. So if you are applying for a bank loan, maybe you are giving a presentation before bankers, your focus will be something. If you are giving a presentation to a potential acquirer, somebody wants to acquire your business, it will have a different focus. So maybe plan will change a little bit, but then you want to drive home the point as to why your audience will do what you want them to do. Meaning if somebody is planning to buy your company, you want to show them why they have compelling reason to buy. Similarly, if there are investors, you want to tell them why they should invest, meaning how their money is going to be multiplied moving forward, because you know that an investor's primary objective is to see that their money multiplies. So depending on that, you modify the plan or prepare the business plan. There are definitions, but it doesn't make sense to make a definition of a business plan. But ideally, a plan explains why you think that you will be successful, meaning what you want to do and then how you plan to remain competitive and make money moving forward. But then remember that business plan is a dynamic thing because things are changing so fast nowadays. Earlier, it never used to change that way. Earlier, you used to put up a plant, say for manufacturing, whatever that is, even electronics, say color TV. So you were amply sure that for the next 10 years to 20 years, perhaps things will not change much. Even if it changes, my factory layout will remain almost the same. That was very different. So you prepare a business plan and then it will remain valid for 20 years. But now things are changing so fast that today you make a plan and tomorrow it becomes irrelevant because things changes and you have to set new priorities, you define new opportunities, etc. That's what Dharmesh Shah says. He's a co-founder, he's a chief technology officer of HubSpot. At the same time, he's a venture capitalist. So he has the right perspective about business plan because he must have not only presented before investors, he must have received so many business plans. The problem with business plan is that things change so quickly in the startup world. Before the ink is even dry on the 100+ page business plan that you print on the printer, things have already changed and the plan is already outdated. So you need to remain current with the new changes. That is why business plan is not something written on stone or something. It is subjected to changes. Like suppose you are prepared to make a presentation today, say at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Before presentation, you should look around and see what has been changing in the world and then just put something from there. Like in today's lecture, yesterday when I saw the news about hike, I thought that was something that should have been available early in the morning yesterday so that I could connect with whatever I taught yesterday. So I thought maybe today is the right time while giving recapitulation. Very few startups I know, meaning Dharmesh knows, or companies that he has invested in resemble their original business plan, meaning that you make a plan, but when you execute, that becomes very different. So that shows the dynamism of business plan. What is the purpose? There may be many things. The basic purpose of a business plan is to write your business model on a piece of paper so that you don't lose focus. Just a second, let me see who is there. I don't know, maybe a student. Hello. Wrong number. Hello. আমি ক্লাস আছি. Okay, sorry, from family member. Sorry again. So fundraising, the basic thing is as you already recognize, meaning that you prepare the plan, you prepare a business plan based on your proposed schedule of execution, so that you can talk to your own team that look, we are planning this way and this is how we are going to move. And every day coming to the office, or maybe at several occasions of the day, you keep changing that depending on your feedback from other team members or whatever you think, whatever is changing. Things are changing very fast. So it remains on your whiteboard or maybe pasted somewhere and you keep changing, modifying. That is number one requirement. That is number one purpose of a business plan. Then fundraising, obviously, if you are raising fund, angel, VCs, accelerator, incubation, everywhere people are asking for a presentation. So that is another fundraising. Business plan, competition, then incubation, acceleration, customer connection. Sometimes you give a presentation before your customers. In fact, yesterday also I read another item. I wanted to keep it here, but somehow I forgot. I'll keep it in the next class. That is what is the key word? I forgot, but you will understand. Somebody may help me with the key word. It is like directly connecting with the customer while selling. It's like showing a video or live video, meaning you are on the other side of the camera and customers are looking at whatever you're saying and they're buying. Yesterday only that was there. I thought of noting it down, somehow it missed. So customer connection can be even online. You are live and talking to customers. Maybe 1 million of them are already listening to you. You are launching a new product or maybe a new feature, or maybe on a regular basis. On a regular basis, somebody is talking about the product and customers are whosoever are interested, they're logging in, or maybe just directly from YouTube or some channel, they are looking at it and making purchase decision. In fact, the information, it was a news item where I read this. They say that 10% of the sales happen directly from online live streaming, online live streaming, not some video shooting or anything. And they project that by 2022, this live streaming will lead to 20% of e-commerce sales, all of e-commerce sales, meaning there will be live demonstration all the while happening online, and people will be able to interact, meaning they will be able to shoot question whether verbally or through text, and the other guys on the other side will be able to respond real time, meaning immediately. So customer will have a feeling that yes, my question has been answered. That means this is not a video shot earlier and shown now. So it's live chat. It is taking shape. So there also you can have a presentation ready, maybe in the form of a video, or at the background you just show and then make presentation one after another. You can flip from back and forth. Then mentor connection. You would like to give a presentation to your mentor, so that would-be mentor or potential buyer of your company, as I said at the beginning. Then whatever is the motivation, you want to navigate through challenges to emerge successful and create value. That is your objective. So finally, that should drive home the point in your business plan. Your focus must be to bring to light the story of that journey, meaning where you are going moving forward. Your entire journey is projected and captured in your business plan. That this is the way we are going to implement our business model, and we're going to make money, and you are going to multiply your money this way or that way. Consideration for business plan, very important. See, here people are listening to your presentation. They cannot see what is happening in the factory. Suppose you already have a factory where you are manufacturing some electronic gadget, futuristic gadget that people will need, that they perhaps did not require yesterday, but they are going to need tomorrow. So you have already developed. Now people will not be able to peep inside your factory unless they visit. So your words are the tools for conveying the entire idea. So you should be very, very careful about choosing the words and precise, so that you save their time. Everybody's time is important. Investors are busy, right? So cut down the time that is necessary to convey. They want you to convey as much as possible in as less words, as less text. No poetic phrases. Don't use jargon. Jargon that may appear new should be avoided, because if somebody doesn't connect with that word immediately because you are continuously talking, then they might think that you are a kind of a unnecessarily using keywords or difficult words just to create an impression. So many people have a negative impression about this kind of people. They think that you do not actually know what you are supposed to know, but you are trying to camouflage with all those decorative things. No poetic phrases. Follow the lean philosophy, meaning just like the lean product that we discussed, your presentation also should be something like a minimum viable prototype, meaning whatever is the gist that you want them to know, you try to make efforts for them to appreciate the value proposition, the superior value compared to others, something like that, meaning wherever you have cutting edge and whatever defines your success. Anybody loves to hear a good story with strong words like Huggies. So if you have a wonderful story, you should always come up with a story. In fact, for pitching, the first thing that you should do is start with a story, maybe half a minute, but then start with a story. Very precise, but very emotional, so that customers becomes kind of your audience becomes engrossed. Not only that, you normally for any public speaking, The primary tactics that they use is they pose a question. Very simple question, but then perhaps most of the people are still looking for an answer. So they keep they keep themselves waiting for the answer as to how you're going to explain. But then don't say something very unrelated, or don't keep that unanswered. At some point of time, you try to, means through your presentation, it should be completely answered so that they get the answer also. Otherwise, they may have a negative impression that you started by asking a question and you have never answered that. So they will not focus on anything that you say unless you are driving home the point, gradually moving forward. Highlight the risk as much as the prospect. This is very important. Most of the people try to hide the risk and highlight the prospect. If you do that, your audience never think that your audience is fools. Audiences are fools. They are intelligent people. They know the market more than you because they have seen so many presentations in the same domain, and some people or the other have given them more insight than what you are going to give. So they are already educated about that particular business, and you try to hide some risk will send a wrong signal to them. Something like they will think that you do not know that there are hidden risks. They will think that there are hidden risks and you do not know. They might very well ask you that question, and then you are caught on the wrong foot. Now, if you say that, sir, I know about the risk, but blah, blah, they will not trust you. But if you tell them at the beginning, look, there are risks. We are aware that there are risks like such and such and such. You may underplay, like you don't accentuate the risk, but then you immediately tell them or try to convey how you are going to alleviate those risks, overcome those risks. So they will know that not only you are aware about the pitfalls moving forward, but you are prepared to take care of them. So that makes a complete presentation. Otherwise, if you just talk about the risk is foolish, absolutely foolish. You talk about only the bright side is also not very intelligent. Show investors the money. So throughout the presentation, you should try to bring this point gradually converging into all the points converging into money. So you talk about your USP, you talk about how you're going to acquire customers. The end, you say that with all those, we project a sales of this, which is conservative, which as per our discussion, you will appreciate that this data, these projections are conservative. With this conservative projection, we think that our turnover will be this, our profit will be this, and based on a standard method of valuation, our company value is going to be something like $500 million at the end of 3 years. So your investment, we are looking for an investment of $100 million at a valuation of maybe 100 million. So your money will be multiplied by 5 times over a period of 5 years, something like that. So they will immediately, they understand the math well, and throughout your presentation, they will be waiting for this data, this particular data. See, everybody has a priority. So investors have their own priority to see, meaning to see how many times the money will multiply, because those people who are looking at the presentation, they are going to prepare a note, submit it to their bosses. At the end, they will submit a note to the boss and they will say that, we are convinced that this company is very confident about multiplying the valuation 5 times. So if we invest 5 times in maybe 4 years or 3 years, so if we invest X amount of money today, we are going to get some Y amount of money after 3 years, very convincingly, and that will drive success of your money raising. Otherwise, it's difficult. And many students actually ask me this question on many occasions, so I thought I just put it as a separate slide. If you have a demonstrable model, prototype, or anything to show how it operates, how does it function, no matter whether it's a finished product or some circuit and some loose wires connected here and there, don't worry about it. If it actually works, Suppose you have some Arduino board here for microcontrolling, you have some say drip irrigation on the other side, and they are connected to Bluetooth or maybe whatever method, and you just show that, look, if you, this is your cell phone has an app, click on this, and that is how the water will be stopped. So rather than water, I have a fan, so the fan starts moving or something that is visible, so it moves remotely, wirelessly. People will start, clapping almost, because anything that they see and get amazed, they're more convinced about the veracity of whatever you present. But as long as you don't show them, everything is in the realm of theory or maybe story. People think that, okay, you are telling a story. Maybe there is a lot to be done to come to something which can be implemented immediately. So it's kind of creating huge amount of trust through demonstration of working prototype. So keep this in mind, that if we do have a working prototype, we should always present. That multiplies the trust level many times, several times. Now, when you prepare a business plan, there are 4 factors that actually are critical for any business. So when you prepare the business model, don't forget to highlight all 4 of them. Number 1 is the people. People includes the core founding team. Founding team includes founders as well as early recruits. So your founders, their individual background, don't write essay about every founder, but mention their qualification and experience in a bulleted manner, not as a passage or anything, not devoting one slide for each individual. But if it is a written business plan, like in MS Word, maybe for 10 pages or something, then it makes sense to write a paragraph on each founder, highlighting their achievement, highlighting why you think their background, their experience, their qualification are all going to help achieve success for your enterprise, meaning how they're going to critically contribute. This is very important. People are very important. If you submit a proposal to a bank, particularly in a bank, they give maximum importance to the people behind the projects. They call men behind the project or something else. So in their appraisal note is the note that they prepare on every loan proposal, where they try to highlight the strengths and weaknesses of the proposal, and that they submit to the top officials. Like if the loan is for say 10 crore rupees, it will go up to the executive director of the bank, or maybe the chairman of the bank, or maybe to the board of governors. So a note will be prepared. On the note, they will highlight major winning points as well as major risk point. One of the most important points that will acquire the pride of place is the list of founders. They will say these are the founders, highly qualified, with experience, and they have credentials about running this, that, etc. And whenever somebody prepares that note, he or she tries to find more and more points to buttress their observations. So help them with that. If you can help them, then this will be highlighted and chance of success will be more. What kind of employees you have already recruited, even though they are employees, they are not bound with your company, but then your capability to hire the right people is a validation that yes, so many employees with what their salt, they have also adopted this company as their career option. Number 1. Number 2, your company has access to so many people with technical skills that will be critical for success of your business. So from whatever point of view you look at it, listing the employees makes sense. So you can spend one full slide for talking about founders and employees. If you have really something to drive home this point. Then some mentors. If you have mentors, it's always necessary. They bring two values. One is the connection, that you are networked with some people like a professor at IIT, or maybe somebody in a financial institutions, or say somebody from VCs, or somebody from a startup itself, like say Anish Reddy or somebody like that. If they give a reference, that goes a long way. So, and then directors. Suppose you have outside independent directors who are something like advisors, that also matters a lot because they bring in huge experience. So if you are committing a mistake, they are going to set the direction correct, meaning you are going to some direction, they will say this is not the right move because this may happen. So you understand immediately that yes, this is wrong. Team chemistry, how are you projected to remain as a coherent team, as a cohesive team, and then track record of each and every individual. The opportunity. Opportunity is the business model, its value propositions, its USP, everything together is the opportunity. Why you think, and the market, why you think that you have a winning proposition. This is the market, and market, there is this amount of demand and the existing products is inadequate for serving the pain, and we have a superior value proposition, etc., etc. All these are opportunity, and your audience will be eagerly listening to this as to what the opportunity is, the context. It's very important. Yesterday I told you a quotation. I gave you a quotation by Victor Hugo. He said, more important, more powerful than the entire army of the world is an idea whose time has come. So timing is very important. The idea might not have been important yesterday. It may lose relevance tomorrow, but today it may be highly important. Tomorrow, not literally, meaning in the future. Like I mentioned about Bill Gross. Bill Gross started Z.com, wherein he was offering the video sharing platform like YouTube. But then at that point of time, sound and video mixing technology was not so mature, and YouTube video is not, this G.com video is not very pleasant to watch. So it is not meeting success. Then within 2 years, it actually closed shutter. And after 2 years, when this technology emerged, YouTube was launched, and it met with immediate success. So the context is very important. When and why? The risk and reward. What is the risk? Are you familiar with all the risk? And do you have a plan to overcome all the risk and emerge victorious? So if you can give presentation about all those 4 points, chances are that you have already done your job very successfully, provided they are convincing. The USP, unique selling proposition. Why you sell something that is different than your competitors? Not only different, but superior. Why is it so? Why the customer will have an impression that you are offering higher value for their money, and they have every reason to come to you and not to go to your competitors. So everything together is unique selling proposition. How you are trying to give more value to the customer. That may include how you are engaging with the customer. This engagement is very well appreciated by everybody in the ecosystem. So if you are talking to some investors, and if you can drive home this point that look, we are selling at this point, and then we are connected to the customer with this future packages or say future promotional schemes. That is how we are going to engage with the customer, and then we'll make sure that no customer quits us. Number one. Number two, we'll make sure the customers speak about us everywhere. They become an evangelist and bring in new customers. Just doing that, you're going to convince your investors or anybody else that are the stakeholders, and they're going to have a positive disposition. USP may be for targeting not only your investor, but targeting the customer as well. So anybody with whom you are interested to do business, you may have a separate USP or the same USP. Look at FedEx, wonderful comment and wonderful USP. The USP of FedEx is that they can deliver next day. Just you give today. During the night, their truck will reach to all destinations possible, and throughout US they will reach in the next day. That is what they say. They have their aeroplane, they have their truck, what not. So their tagline is, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight, then FedEx is the solution. Meaning, look no farther. Just come to us. We'll make sure your package reaches next day, wherever that is. Then Avis, we are number one. Number two, we try harder. Meaning, they don't say lies that we are the leader. They say we are number two, but we are trying very hard to become number one. That means you can always expect us to deliver better so that we will not lose you, meaning we have an eye on you that we want to keep you with us. So we will always deliver better value to you. M&M, the milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Pizza, Domino's Pizza is perhaps the best one. You get fresh hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. It's so challenging and you have no reason but to believe them. You have no reason not to believe them because they're going to give free and you can go to court if they don't. In fact, you just write a line in social media, they will immediately call you and they will try to make amends. And there are many more. You just read them later. Now the main part, the components of a business model, business plan. One is cover page. Never ignore the cover page. We judge a person looking at their dress, how tidy they are. Suppose you meet a guy, suppose you are appearing for an interview. You come without combing your hair and without ironing your dress and you are in a t-shirt, in a chappal. Immediate impression will be just because you are from IIT, they will not think that you are an idiot. Had it been somebody else, they might think that this guy doesn't have any sense whatsoever. But because you are from IIT, they know that IITians are intelligent guys. There's no doubt about that. So they will not have a doubt about that, but they will think that maybe you have a problem with your mental balance. Maybe means moving forward, you may become a nuisance in their company. Number one. Number two, this is very important. And remember this sentence throughout your life. The way you dress and come for interview or to meet somebody indicates the value that you attach to that person. It does not indicate how you look, etc., etc. It indicates how much value that you attach to the person that you are meeting. If you suppose you meet Prime Minister at some point of time, obviously you will come in your best of dresses, tidy, etc., etc., so that you don't look ugly or say untidy. So that means you are attaching importance not on you but on your audience. Same thing happens with an interview. Same thing happens when you meet a professor, a visitor. So somebody comes in your home. You don't want to meet that person in pajama and banyan or something. So the moot point is whenever you meet somebody, your dress and other etiquettes indicate how much value you attach to the other guy. So the other guy will respond adequately or suitably. If you don't give importance to the other guy will not give importance to whatever you have come for. So if you are here to become successful, take care of that. So cover page actually is that you are not meeting people. Depending on the cover page itself, they will do some shortlisting. Suppose they receive 1000 business plans. Looking at the cover page, if the cover page is shabby and if there is no cover page at all, chances are very high that it will be kept aside. And those which have been prepared with a lot of care and attention perhaps will be kept on the positive side. Executive summary. Remember that in this world today, people do not have time. They will never go through the entire business plan unless there is a compelling reason that they identify in the executive summary. So when a shortlisted list of business plans will be given to the people who are going to make decisions, they will read only the executive summary, and if there is a conclusion at the back page, that too they will make a decision based on their impression about executive summary. They will read the first para. If it attracts their attention, they will try to read beyond that, meaning more paragraphs. So you have to have a sequential, a orderly writing, not something here, something there. It should be almost like a journey from one place to another. You go step by step. So executive summary also should be that way, meaning it should be, you should take the audience step by step to the final deliverable. So it should be very systematically done, very nicely worded. And then, yeah, I was saying that, these guys who are going to make a decision about selecting business plans, they have very little time and they will read only the executive summary. And if they find something compelling there, only then they will flip pages and read more. Otherwise, they will not. If at all they do, mostly they will not go inside. Based on the executive summary, they will sort the business plans from left to right. Maybe some will be kept on the left, some on the right, depending on what they think. Then the content page is important. Most of us do not write a content page. It makes sense, though you are wasting one slide, but in the content page, you write whatever to be expected. So your audience will know that, okay, you have a financial plan, you have a business, whatever, meaning execution plan, you have a team, you have a slide for team, you have a slide for this, that, etc. So on the content page, even without reading anything else, your audience will know that, okay, you have covered this, fine, fine, fine. So after executive summary, they will flip the content page, they will feel comfortable, done. Now the detailed plan. After that is the detailed plan, the background, where you come from, how you want to do, what is your unique selling proposition, etc. In the conclusion, you write that given the above, we feel that our business is poised to attain success. Maybe we, based on the financials, we see that we'll be cash flow positive in the 3rd year, and our valuation is likely to be this in the 5th year. So if you make an investment of this, you are going to multiply your investment. There is a potential of multiplying in the so and so year by so many times, etc., etc. If there is a social value, you can even write that our company is going to add so much of national value, social value, environmental value, etc. Then the appendix. Appendix is something that nobody usually read. But then if somebody wants to go through the details financial plan, then they will flip the pages and see whether you have done something, whether the assumptions are kept okay, etc., etc. The market and the market demand. Sorry, then details about executive summary, the business background, and these are another list of key elements of the business plan. Competitive advantage, detailed list, strategies for operation management, the resources, meaning the team, the access to a strategic asset, like suppose you have technology or you are hiring technology from somewhere, maybe some professors at IIT or maybe somebody abroad or something. These are all resources: technology, finance, manpower, directors, access to infrastructure, like suppose you are already incubating at some incubation cell or maybe at Y Combinator or something, all of that. Financial outlay, you give a detailed financial outlay in the annexer, but here you present the brief that this is our projected sales for the next 5 years and this is the projected profitability, projected cash flow, etc. Risk, opportunities and sensitivities. What risk you foresee, what are the opportunities that you want to exploit to grow, and then how sensitive is your business on the primary factors. Suppose you are dependent on loan for running your business. Is your business sensitive to interest rate? How much? Suppose interest rate goes up by 2 point, meaning 200 basis points. 2% means 200 basis points. So if interest rate goes up by 200 basis points, how the profitability is affected. So that is what is sensitivity. Or suppose selling price goes down by 2%, how the profitability is changing. Suppose input cost is going up by 2%, how the profitability is getting affected. So all these are sensitivities where you can show both negative as well as positive. Suppose you say that our pricing is very conservative. If we increase the price by 2%, our profitability improves like this. So our sales is quite our profitability is quite sensitive to prices, and we think that increasing price by 10% should not be difficult moving forward. So everything together, you can paint a brighter picture. You can alleviate some of the sense about risk. Suppose they think that your business is very risky because you are dependent on input raw material from a third party, whereas your competitors have captive ore mines or something. Then you show that your business is not so much sensitive to raw material cost because of whatever reason. So that alleviates the risk perception. And then conclusion, appendices. Now there are many templates in the marketplace. You just give Google search with business plan templates, you will find at least 1 million of them. But I have also presented some of them. Moving forward, I'll show you some 2-3 templates that I thought are very nice. The objective of giving you too many templates is like this, to demonstrate 2 points. One is that they are not absolutely coherent, that it's not a template that you should follow. They are diversified somewhat. But then the other point, which is contrary to this observation, is that they have almost similar ethos that they drive home, meaning they have the similar points, though expressed differently or placed in different chronology, but in summary they are almost the same. So to drive home this point, so what we normally have is a summary, then the business means what business you are going to do, then the market demand, competition, strategy, resources, financials, and forecasts, risk, opportunities, and sensitivity. Pretty much discussed at the beginning itself. So I'm just trying to give you different templates. That was some common templates. Here it is from Sequoia Capital. Sequoia Capital is the most conspicuous investors, early stage investors to early stage companies. So it makes sense to all of you. If you ever start a company, you should look forward to Sequoia Capital for funding. Anish Reddy, capillary of Anish Reddy, they also approached to Sequoia Capital and they got $100,000. That was their first investment after investment from IIT Kharagpur. So this is their template. They say that your number of slides should be 15 to 20 and you should be able to drive home the point, company purpose, why your company, problem, solution, why now, market size, competition, product, business model, team, and financials. So elaborate on all these points in maybe say 10 slides and then talk about the founders and other people at the beginning. It makes sense to have a kind of a gist at the beginning, that is a summary. They don't say that. So start with the summary. So that is why it will become something like 15-20 slides. We see only 10 here, but then something like say market size or maybe competition will consume more than 1 slide. So eventually you have more slides. Now this is another template and there is no reason why we should not discuss this template as well. This has been published in Forbes. Today I got this link again. I gave the link today only. It was not there in my previous presentation. This is not the link. This is how it was displayed in Google search. Forbes.com, Dev Limsky. Dev is a regular writer, regular author on Forbes, and every article that he writes is wonderful. So you can search for articles and read them for your own supplementing your knowledge. Dev says that the first thing is executive summary. That's what I started talking about. Company overview, meaning background, where you come from, then the context, why it's to be done now, and etc. etc. Then industry analysis, that is the analysis of demand and supply. How is the demand in the market? How many players are there? Is there a gap to be served by your company? Is the pain inadequately served, or there are companies who are serving completely? So from here, your audience will try to understand whether you have a fair idea about the market. Do not think that you can tell lies to them and convince that there are huge demand supply gap in the market and you're going to get money. It's not going to happen. They are already aware what the market actually is. If you try to evade some information from them, you are going to be caught on the wrong foot. It's going to give a negative impression. Customer analysis, target customer, what their pain is, what is their idiosyncrasies, or profile them absolutely, that this is the profile of a customer, their aspirations are like this, which the present products can ill serve, something like that, customers need. Competitive analysis, along with customer, you do the competitive analysis, direct competitors, indirect competitors, and your competitive advantage. Marketing plan. So marketing plan includes what are the features of your product service, how you're going to promote that, what is your promotional plan, distribution plan. So when I talk about market, the products and services comes automatically because this is part of your value proposition canvas. If you remember, value proposition canvas, that is the product and services, their features, their additional features that is going to give the customers some premium. It will serve the purpose, alleviate the pain, and create some gain as well. Number 7, operation plan. How we are going to put up infrastructure and then operate so that it becomes smooth, the business process management part of it. What are the milestones? If you don't mention the milestone, that will show, that will kind of indicate that you are not very systematic and you don't have clear plan as to what you're going to achieve after 6 months, after 1 year, after maybe 18 months, etc., etc. To do that, you must have a plan. Just a minute. Let me take the attendance. Okay, so number seven point is operational plan. Here the business process management comes in. That is, customer will find it very easy to buy, easy to get, easy to troubleshoot, easy to connect with your company and then tell whatever they would like to say. Easy to give feedback, easy to get some reward points and then come again, etc. Management team, financial plan, all highlights, not the detailed plan. Highlights of funding requirement, how you plan to use the fund. That is again very important. Number 1, they are going to ask you, why do you need this money? Then you have to tell them that I need this money to acquire this. So that will tell about use of fund. Exit strategy. It makes sense, even though you are at the very outset of your startup and you are yet to get the money from the investors, but still you must have an exit plan. That's what will sound like a music to the ears of the investors, that okay, you are prepared to give us some value. Section 8 is the appendix where you give all the supporting document. In somewhere in your business plan, it makes wonderful sense to have one slide with the business model canvas. So you may forget to put some of the points, but here you can you will be kind of compelled to give all the points that your audience will be interested in. May or may not be. You don't have to talk about all the 9 building blocks. You can focus on the value proposition, customer segment. So whenever you keep all those points handy, don't elaborate at the beginning. So elaborate them while showing the business model canvas. I took this from a book. The book has 8 chapters and the book title is Writing a Winning Business Plan. Writing a Winning Business Plan, published by a Financial something from New York. It's a newspaper, but they came up with a book titled Writing a Winning Business Plan. So I thought this is very compelling and I gave the summary from that book, and the book contains this. From here also you can understand that these are the sections in your business plan. Executive summary, the business, market demand, competition, strategy, resources, financial outlay, financial closure, meaning closure spelling is wrong. It should be SURE, meaning how you are arranging, tying up all the money that is necessary and projected financials. Then risk, opportunities, rewards, and sensitivities. That's what I said at the beginning also. Means I was. So these are the terms. For every items, they have given sub items. Under executive summary, you talk about the business, the team, the proposal, why now? Why now is the time? Why it will succeed? Why you think that there is compelling reason for the business to become successful? What the rewards will be? Major risks and how you can minimize them. That is the executive summary in one page, in one slide. You have to highlight these points. You may not write in a PPT, you won't write all of that. You will discuss this right here, that my business is this, my team represent, or my team constitute this people. They are the co-founders, they are the early employees, they are the mentors, they are the directors. The proposal, because this should be at the on your fingernails. So you don't need guidance for talking about the team, the proposal, why now, etc. And look at them, what they talk about, the summary. I have been insisting, maybe at the cost of repetition. For most readers, it will be the first few pages or the only pages they read. Some senior decision makers will read nothing else. This is a quotation from their book. Spend time on it, nurture it, hone it, and edit it remorselessly. Even give it to a professional to edit. It may be the best investment you make. Vaughan Evans is the author of the book. So you can download the book. I think it is freely downloadable. Summary, make the first impression. So now all that is talked about is a summary, whatever you present there. Then the business, that is chapter 2, the background, then business mix by segments. So we'll discuss this in the next class. I think we have done enough today. So if there is any question, maybe we can discuss about that. Otherwise, we'll call it a day.